how to pick the best parts for your gaming PC for a $2,000 gaming PC build in 2024. This is what I'm going to show you today in this video, but first a word from our sponsor, Lexar Memory. Many gamers and professionals already use Lexar to work quickly and efficiently because Lexar has a large selection of innovative storage products. If you want, you too can discover the advantages of Lexar in your next PC build. And with that, let's jump into the picking of the parts for the best gaming PC or for an interesting gaming PC build. In this example build, I picked the NZXT H7 flow case, a very nice big case with a good airflow. And this particular model even has the RGB fans included. So that should be a nice base case. And then I picked the Asus TUF gaming power supply, which sometimes is available, sometimes it's not available. So what I encourage you, look on Amazon, and if it's not available on Amazon, maybe check out Newegg. Sometimes it's available here, sometimes it's available there, and also the prices. Sometimes I've even seen them lower. The main point is this is an ATX 3.0 power supply, so please, if you buy a power supply, this is the first takeaway lesson, try to get an ATX 3.0 because they have the new 16-pin HPVR power connector, the new power connector that you need for graphics cards beginning from the Nvidia RTX 4070 up. So that's a good choice to future-proof at least your power supply and base system. Then for the mainboard and CPU, I'm skimping a little bit on the budget, which is interesting, but I do this on purpose because I'm taking still the AM4 platform versus the AM5 platform, and I'm pairing it with a relatively small Ryzen 5600X. And guys, that might actually create a CPU bottleneck because we're gonna put in a very big graphics card, but I want to test this in this build and see whether this really does impact it. So we're gonna test these old AM4 base systems with different graphics cards and find out all the nooks and crannies, because I've seen the people actually search for that, or what graphics card can I still put on these older systems. And we're gonna do X3D builds, and we can actually compare the graphics card that we are gonna use with AM5 as well in the benchmarks in video 3. So this is the picking the parts, video 2, putting everything together, doing the build, and video number 3, the benchmarking. So for cooler and RAM, we just use Deepcool AK400. That is more than sufficient because the AMD Ryzen 5600X is very energy efficient CPU and doesn't get nearly as hot as the X3Ds. The memory was thankfully supplied by Lexar. Thank you very much, Lexar, for supplying the memory. And also thank you very much for supplying the NVMe. When it comes to picking an NVMe for the parts that you pick for your build, for your gaming PC build, my recommendation is don't pick a small NVMe. I think I would just put in, if you're doing a new build, at least 2 TB. That's, I think, the better value. Guys, if you have a big game library that fills up, and you don't want to download always again if you have a big game library, so I like the 2 TB drives. Lexar gave me the heatsink version, but you do not necessarily have to use the heatsink version because the board that we're using, or a lot of boards, they have a heatsink included. That works very well, especially since the Lexar NM900 is the 790 is a HBM NVMe, so it's a DRAM less NVMe. It uses actually, that's something you have to keep in mind. Not only, okay, there are different PCIe standards such as PCIe 3, 4, and 5 NVMe's, but I think the best NVMe's are the ones that are PCIe 4 at the moment, because there's a good price value proposition. The Gen 5 is more expensive relatively, and not all the boards support it. Plus, Gen 4 is already pretty fast. So yeah, but besides, you can also notice if the NVMe has a DRAM chip on there, then it tends to be a little bit warmer. At least that's my understanding. So guys, quickly moving on to the graphics card. What do you think? This is a pretty insane configuration. We are putting in RTX 4080, very expensive card, and I looked When I got this, it was available for about 1,300. Right now, it seems to be sold out a lot. There is more of the 4070 available, but guys, this can actually fluctuate, and it's a little bit crazy build considering that we are only putting a Ryzen 5600X. So, but I really wanted to test this. That's why I'm going to do the build like this. And my intuition would be maybe step it down with the graphics card 1 to the 4070, at least if you're trying to do a WQHD 1044p build, and maybe step it up to an X3D. That would be another config that I would really like to test. But I mean, if you were to put it in an X3D, the system would get more expensive. If you would build that on AM5, it would get significantly more expensive. So my main takeaway for you guys is, if you want to pick the perfect parts, learn how to juggle these, maybe make yourself a list, and in the benchmarks, we're also going to look for potential bottlenecks, which I'm really curious. So hit that subscribe. Next video is building the gaming PC, and number 3 is the benchmarks. And I see you in the next video.